So, big news for Korg this year. I mean, you've got a lot of new stuff, right?
Oh yeah, the biggest, of course, is the Prologue. Now that's a performance, professional analog synthesizer, polyphonic, following in the footsteps of Minilogue and Monologue, and it's really a professional instrument. It's 16 voices and 61 keys. There's also an 8-voice, 49-key model over there, but this thing is absolutely just gorgeous sounding, amazing filters, voiced specifically for polyphonic play, and one of the things that Sonicstate's fans are going to be really happy to hear is that the filter has incredible low end even when you crank that resonance.
Is it a 2 or a 4 pole?
It's 2 pole, so 12 dB per octave, and it's also gain compensated with a drive switch down here. So you have an analog drive gain stage before the filter, overdrive your signal going in, get some nice squelch to it.
I love me a 2-pole. Something a bit more, I mean, it's just that little bit different, isn't it? Particularly for poly stuff, it works really well.
Nice and gentle.
So is this essentially a kind of the bones of a Minilogue voice cloned times 16 or times 8, or is it a bit different?
It's really so much more than that, because you do have those really nice sounding VCOs, full harmonic content of that, those analog waveforms of Minilogue. You have very similar controls, but on top of that, per voice, you have those 2 VCOs, and then a digital multi-engine, which has several different modes. The first of which, being a noise mode, so you have your typical noises found in an analog synth, and then a bit crushed digital noise, and then a VPM mode, which stands for variable phase modulation, which is your FM or phase modulated waveforms, very similar to those early 80s digital synths. So you literally have both VCO analog and classic FM digital sounds on here, as well as some really interesting timbrally wave shapes in the user engine, which is going to be open source and editable once.
Yeah, that's interesting. So when you can load your own sounds in, I mean, is that kind of WAV format or just general sound files? How does it work?
So the multi-engine is going to be open source, which means you can code your own oscillators. So if you know a little bit of code, you can upload your own oscillators. You can also upload and code your own user effects.
Oh, sweet. That's pretty good. Yeah. Oh, interesting. So I guess we should listen. I mean, what's the basic structure? I mean, is it a multi-timbral, bitimbral? You've got a split and a layer. How many sounds can you have at once?
It's bitimbral, and the sound that I have loaded up right now is a pad layered with an ARP. So of course you can apply the arpeggiator on board to one or both of the timbres. And there's 3 different modes for timbres: split and layer, very common. X-fade, crossfade. You can actually fade a sound all the way across the key, but you can have one timbre over here, one timbre over here, and it fades from one to the other. It's a really, really cool way to blend 2 timbres.
Okay, so let's have a listen.
Sure.
Very old school kind of classic sound there. So am I right in saying it's not got the same sequencer, but it's got an arpeggiator you can program on it, right?
It does have a really powerful arpeggiator with the manual mode, so you can get the order that you play the notes. It'll arpeggiate, of course, latch and hold, stuff like that. Over here in the end, there's a low frequency compressor, and that's only on the 16-voice model, and that has its own analog gain stage, and it's post-master. So after the master volume on the left, I can turn up the master volume and then have gain reduction over my entire mix. So both timbres And that's really going to be a great way to rein in your dynamics in your low end, so that your front of house engineer, somebody who's mixing your live performance, can really like get the most out of your low end without having to sacrifice dynamics.
It's very much a live performance keyboard, right?
Definitely, it's the ultimate performance analog, for sure.
But equally at home in the studio, can you address left and right sort of multi-timbral splits via MIDI channel, that kind of stuff?
Yep. So you can play the two timbres that you have assigned. If you're in a split, layer, or crossfade, different MIDI channels. You know, you can swap them, determine your split point. All very, very standard settings for that.
And we should say, I mean, there are a lot of videos out there with a lot better sound quality than we're going to get in a noisy room like this. So this is just, we're going to concentrate on the features here with Nick. Okay.
For sure. I'll play a little bit more.
Yeah, so before you do, I mean, when's it going to ship and how much is it going to be?
So it's shipping this spring, and it's going to be $14.99 for the 8-voice, and that's US, and $19.99 for the 16-voice.
Okay, so maybe we could just have a few more sounds, right?
Sure.
Has it got the same waveform display on the on here as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So this is sound I did, kind of an homage to my old Poly 800. I'll show you some of the digital waveforms in the VPM.
So it's got reverb on it as well as delay now?
It does. So I turned the delay reverb engine on, so that can be either delay or reverb. And then the mod effect engine over here is chorus, ensemble like your classic Poly 6, a phaser, and a flanger.
Ooh, that's stereo.
Oh yeah. And those all have different algorithms within the effects type. So, you know, you have a stereo flanger, mono. I have different types of chorus, of course.
Okay, I see.
And this will actually do LFO type modulation.
Yeah, it's good to get a bit of extreme stuff in there.
And
And
then,
how
of
big
course,
does the reverb go? I mean, does it go silly big or is it still quite pedestrian?
you have your classic, you know, halls, rooms, stuff like that. But of course, you also have things like non-linear reverbs. You can basically turn your sound into
Sort of freeze almost, yeah.
you get it really long. Of
like
course,
that.
you can also do things that could never happen in real acoustic spaces.
Nice. Can you access that? I guess, so without the sequence, you don't have the same motion sequencing aspect to it, so you can't arpeggiate parameters, for instance.
So as far as doing sequencing of your parameters, you can, of course, there's an LFO which syncs to BPM, and that can do modulations in different divisions of tempo, of course. There's also the arpeggiator can be used if you're modulating something using the envelopes. You can kind of do a motion sequence style sound with the arpeggiator.
Oh, okay, cool, great. Nick, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much.